Kosovo is heading to early elections on June the 11th. 120 deputies will be elected by around 1.9 million eligible voters from Kosovo and the diaspora. For the majority Kosovar Albanian population, 100 seats will be contested, as 20 seats are reserved for minority parties. In the last assembly, 5 Albanian parties were represented. Given that this is a snap election, due to a successful motion of no confidence in the government, most parties haven't yet published a party programme for 2017. But a look at previous manifestos and party programmes gives an indication of where parties stand on some key issues. On the economy, PDK and LDK are closely aligned, both believing in open markets and free competition with minimal regulation. PDK's coalition partners, AAK and NISMA, in general terms both propose some market regulation in order to allow small and medium-sized businesses to compete, while PDK and NISMA both emphasise investment in infrastructure projects, such as highways. Vetëvendosja, on the other hand, believes in greater state intervention economically, and is the only party that is against privatisation of state-owned assets. It believes in taxation of richer people to redistribute wealth, and proposes to exempt certain elementary products, such as bread, milk and books, from VAT. Alongside NISMA, Vetëvendosja says it wants to develop a common market with Albania. But Vetëvendosja goes further, also proposing a shared currency. All the major political parties say education is a high priority, but their approaches differ significantly. PDK has generally focused the majority of its educational policies on developing physical infrastructure and raising the salaries of teachers. Vetëvendosja has more of a social focus to its educational policies, including creating funds to encourage students to sign up to certain study programs and providing free food to all primary school students. Its focus is very much on the public education system and ensuring it is free at all levels, which is in contrast to LDK, which emphasises support for the private sector in order to generate competition. LDK and PDK both specify their support for scientific research. AAK talks of increasing education spending from 4% of Kosovo's GDP to 5%, and also wants to provide free transport for children whose schools are far from their homes. NISMA, on the other hand, stresses the importance of education, but has no specific policy. When it comes to social support, PDK and AAK both state their intention to increase the budget for war veterans, while PDK says it would increase all pensions by 25%. LDK says it wants to develop a social assistance scheme, alongside increasing entrepreneurship to reduce reliance on social assistance. Vetëvendosja also talks of ensuring social work centres function properly, and of building new elderly people's homes in each of Kosovo's 5 largest cities. There are few differences between the 5 major parties in terms of foreign policy, with all supporting Euro-Atlantic integration. With the exception of PDK, all say they are in favour of coordinating Kosovo's foreign policy with Albania's, while Vetëvendosja says it would unify the two countries' foreign policies. One foreign policy that is very much different to the other parties is Vetëvendosja's assertion that foreign relations should be focused on those countries that recognise Kosovo's independence. Despite the country's failing health system, most parties have minimal focus on health, whereas NISMA has no specific health policies at all. The other parties all support a public health insurance scheme based on citizen contributions. Vetëvendosja says it wants to put more focus on the public health system, including regulating the prices of medicines. Only the 3 largest parties have policies on culture, not AAK or NISMA. PDK and LDK both say they want to increase investment in culture, with PDK focusing on physical infrastructure and LDK being more general. LDK says it wants to develop a complementary culture strategy with all other Albanian communities in the region, similar to Vetëvendosja, who says it wants to promote an Albanian national culture while being aware of the other communities living in Kosovo. Vetëvendosja also says that it wants to engage in protecting Kosovo's cultural heritage and in supporting young writers and artists. With the general election just around the corner, it is down to voters to decide which policies they support most and how far the parties' platforms reflect reality.